Ahoy, space adventurers! Get ready to set sail into the unknown galaxy with Bethesda's latest release, Starfield. This game not only marks a significant milestone in the studio's history, but also the first time in over 2 decades that Bethesda is venturing into a new IP. Talk about reaching for the stars. But wait, there is more, my friends. Starfield is also the first title to launch exclusively for Xbox since Microsoft acquired the studio. We've been in a drought of major titles on the green team for a while, so the pressure on Starfield is as intense as a black hole, with fans and critics closely watching. But fear not, in this video we are not diving into the gameplay or doing an exhaustive analysis. We are here to explore the dazzling visuals and technical world that Starfield offers. And if you want a quick hint about my impressions of the game so far, I'll say I'm quite liking it. It's a blast, although its interface feels like it was ripped from an ancient scroll, and the average rating it has received so far, it seems fair to me. But let's put all that aside and dive into Bethesda's space opera. This studio, famous for its focus on medieval fantasy and post-apocalyptic worlds, is now venturing into the vast cosmos for the first time. This means immense technical challenge with a large universe, grand ambitions, and a plethora of worlds, lightning, characters, and creatures everywhere. All of this relies on the new creation engine too. Well, new is a relative term, as Bethesda claims they made significant improvements to the engine, but as we've seen in other game series, sticking with the same engine for too long can bring fundamental limitations. Just ask the Brotherhood of Assassins. I mention this especially because no matter how many improvements you make, if you are fundamentally tied to the same engine, you'll carry some fundamental issues with you. We can see this in the Assassin's Creed series, where they've used the Anvil engines in the first game. However, if we compare the graphical evolution of the games, even though Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks infinitely better than the first Assassin's Creed, both games share common problems. But hold on a second, I'm not here to tear the game apart. Starfield has many aspects that shines like stars in the night. Geometrically, this game is a visual feast. Forget about empty rooms. Here everything is filled with detailed objects. Even the chairs deserve an award for their modeling. This geometric richness doesn't stop with objects. The environments are also meticulously crafted. You'll find views that will leave you breathless, cities packed with elements and biomes bursting with diversity. Spaceships are a work of art, and character costumes are detailed down to the last thread. And the variety of scenarios is like having a video game buffet. Each planet has its own lighting, colors, fauna, and vegetation. It's like an intergalactic festival. But all of this wouldn't mean much if the textures weren't excellently crafted with convincing physical properties. Metal, earth, concrete, costumes, fabrics, books, tables, everything is textured convincingly. There are highly reflective materials, new ones, weathered ones. There is something for everyone. You look at the astronaut suit and see how it's weathered by time, and you think that suit has seen a ton of adventures. But as always, the devil is in the details. Here I have to bring up my first negative point about the game. And mind you, it's not that the game lighting is bad per se. For example, we have flashlight that provides very believable light with shadows. Areas like caves, the ship, and certain planets look incredible with the new global illumination system. Most light cast shadows, adding realism to the scene. Even though this game doesn't rely on ray tracing, it achieves impressive shading in many areas. But then we have areas like the city that look completely flat, like a surfboard, without shadows or ambient occlusion. I'm not exactly sure what's missing here, but it's even uncomfortable to look at. It reminds me of many PlayStation 3 era games that essentially had no lighting. And then you see the same city, Nova Atlantis, at night, and the city and the lightning looks stunning. The problem is that it is too contrasting to see such a modern game that looks so poor in this aspect. Interestingly, here in New Atlantis is also the first place where you'll find water, and I always use water as a gauge of graphical quality, which is quite important to me. The water in the game is a marvel. It interacts with your character and reflects light spectacularly. However, the lilies in the pond look petrified. It's as if Bethesda focused so much on making a big game that they forgot the small details. And that's what sets Starfield apart from the big production. The game is visually impressive in many aspects, but falls short in others. Facial and character animation belong to past generations, as if we time travel back to an era of Xbox 360. And it's not just facial animations. The animations of all NPCs in general are stiff and robotic, lacking naturalness. Characters spin on their axis, just like the characters from Resident Evil 1. I'm sure all of this is due to limitations of the engine, even though Bethesda claimed that one of the engine changes was to integrate Havoc to make animations more realistic. Now imagine if they hadn't done that. It may seem like I'm being tough or critical of the game, but it's just jarring to see in a production of this level some elements that are well done, like the ships, the models, the biomes, the directional lightning effects, while at the same time they mix it with others that shouldn't have a place in the same game. Starfield has its strengths and weaknesses, just like all of us. However, the game presents us with a beautiful world that sometimes feels artificial, like those unmoving lilies in a pond. Bethesda focused on greatness but forgot the small touches. And mind you, I don't believe this should detract you from enjoying the game or its gameplay, but this is a technical analysis and I must be fair from my point of view. This is also reflected in other aspects, like the game graphic setting menu. I dare to say it's one of the worst configuration menus I've seen in a long time. They don't explain anything, you have no idea what component it affects, there are no images and not even the game in the background, so you can at least see what changes are happening. But hey, I'll save this run for the performance video. Before we wrap up things, I want to talk about another weird effect that mars the overall presentation of the game. A constant flickering that occurs in the finer elements, just by moving the camera. And mind you, everything I recorded and played has been a maximum quality 4K native. I even tried using FSR to see if it improved things, but nothing. The issues persist no matter what. I even removed the grain just to see if that was causing the issue. Technically, Starfield is the most ambitious game Bethesda has ever made, and its graphically is undoubtedly their best. However, from a graphical standpoint today, it's not a game that will be a graphical benchmark. And hey, I'll say it again, that's not a bad thing if their focus is on gameplay. It'll be up to you to evaluate if they achieve that aspect of the game. But for me, Starfield seems to have fallen a bit short on the technical side, just like past the halfway mark. In summary, Starfield is ambitious and graphically impressive, but doesn't quite reach the summit of the mountain of big productions. Bethesda need to polish those details and not get carried away by greatness. But hey, these are my impressions. What do you think? Have I been fair, unfair, or have I lost my way in space? Let me know in the comments, and until then, see you in the next video.